Welcome back to another episode of Homework. Today we're going to be doing some event challenges in JavaScript. Now let me get our chat looking a little better. There we go. Okay. So let's take a look at what we're going to be doing here today. We're going to be doing a couple of challenges in JavaScript. It's for beginners, so it's like, I'm not great at this yet. But if we take a look at what's in our README here, we've got basically just 4 tasks. We've got to use JavaScript events to modify HTML, whatever you want to call them, HTML elements. We need to do a deployment. We need to do separate p tags for every source. We need to use the p tags in JavaScript events to accomplish these 4 tasks. We need to change a text font. We need to highlight a word. We need to find and replace a word. And then we need to be able to load a tag from the JSON placeholder API using the fetch API. Hint, use HTML forms to complete the assignments if you can. Oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, we can maybe use some forms. That way, forms are a way to get kind of input from the user so that it's not hard-coded in. And it adds a little bit of interactivity there. So, download or create some filler text, nonsense text for anything. Okay, so let's pull up some of this cat ipsum, I guess, and then we'll just get a cat ipsum. We'll just go ahead and do this. If it fits, I sits. Okay. Well, that's our cat ipsum, I guess. We can just take it as a, we'll just take a piece of it. And we're going to be mainly, I mainly use, hey, thanks for the raid. Hey, thank you. I am just here doing some homework. So it is, it's beginner HTML and JavaScript. I'm taking it, I normally do game dev on the channel, but we are just doing some homework today because I can't fit bootcamp and work and game dev and streaming, so we're trying to limit how much we're accomplishing here. But we're going to be doing some. We got to make a not only an index HTML, but we've got to write. We've got to do a script.javascript. Been learning JavaScript, so passing some folks along. Okay, great. Yeah, we're here doing some beginner JavaScript. So if you guys are here, we're in NeoVim here and tmux. We'll probably end up pulling up WebStorm because we might have to do some fancy WebStorm things with the deployment, but I'm going to try to stick in NeoVim as much as I can. Yeah, Blastoderm, we're in NeoVim here. And we're going to make a script.js as well. And then we've got those 2. So let's just use our, and you know what, there's, this is a good excuse to use WebStorm because of the template, the HTML template. So look, we can go here in a WebStorm and just do exclamation tab, and it gives us some boilerplate HTML, which is going to help us. We don't need this. I don't think we need device width. I want to say we don't need this user scalable. Well, I'll just leave it for now. I don't want to mess with that stuff too much. So let's just save this, and we'll go back to NeoVim here. I'm sure there's probably a way to get some autocomplete in NeoVim. Hey, thank you for the follow, Will. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the raid. That is really cool. I hope you had a good stream and got some good stuff done. Cool. Okay, so we've got this. Let's put in our cat ipsum here, just so we have something to look at. And what we'll do, oh my God. What we'll do is we'll put this, the assignment says to put it in, everything has to have its own p tag. So we'll just put a p tag here and a closing p tag. So the assignment today, we've got 4 things we got to do, and it's all using events in JavaScript and HTML. So like, hopefully we would need like an ID of like cat ipsum or something. I don't know, ID of like first paragraph, I don't know. So that we can modify it using our selectors and stuff. And we just went over this today in class, so it's probably going to be a little messy, but that's what learning is for. So we're going to be doing, what is this? JavaScript element challenge. No. What's it called? Event challenge. And AKA Bob, bootcamp is going good. We're starting to get into back-end stuff now. So we did a couple of, what was really cool is like I didn't like CSS all that much, but then we started using Tailwind and it was a lot easier. Like as long as you know what you're trying to do in CSS, it's a lot easier. So I was liking that a lot. Like we made a mock-up, a mobile responsive mock-up with Tailwind, and it was pretty fast compared to just straight up CSS. So I'm liking that. And then we're going to be doing some React, I guess, here in the next week with JavaScript interactivity and stuff. What up, Katron? How's it going, dude? How have you been? We're just doing another homework stream. So yeah, it's... I mean, I'm sure some, like, if you're a beginner like me, I feel like this is a good stream to kind of check out. But if you're like a seasoned JavaScript veteran, you're probably going to be yelling at me. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping we can finish our homework on stream again like we did last week, because that was really nice. Because that homework we did last week is due tomorrow, and we finished it the day it was assigned. So that was really nice. We're just gonna write that out, and then we've got to open up this. I just caught cat pee in our ipsum there. So let's go ahead and open up this. Okay, yeah, look how bland it is. But we've got that. So now we can see our HTML with just a little swipe here, and then what we can do is start working on our challenge. What I'm going to do here is open up another window so we can look at our README again. Okay, so download or create some filler text that's used from templates, and then, okay, so you can just we've got our cat ipsum, create a deployment. We probably won't do that right now just because it's, I don't know, if you guys are interested in seeing that, we can do that in WebStorm, but I'm not, it's easy to do even after the fact. I'm just going to make sure I get commit and everything, which we should probably do right now, actually. And then we need, so here's what we're doing. 4 things. Change a text font, and we have to do this using events in JavaScript. So we got to change the text font, we got to highlight a word, find and replace a word, load a tag from the JSON placeholder API using Fetch API. I've never done that, but we can figure it out. Then it's saying use HTML forms to complete the assignment if you can. Cool. So I think what I'm going to do, yeah, it's been good, Katron. School has been really demanding, but luckily since I've got a decent enough background, it's been, I've been floating along. I'm ahead on my homework, and we just got this assignment today, so I'm hoping we can just knock it out, and then I'll be ahead like I was this past week, which feels very good. So we're gonna try to get ahead and stay ahead, because we've got a tough final project. We're doing we're doing a personal website project along with a capstone that we're building with a team. So like our personal website is just us. And I can show you guys a little mock-up I made so far. It's like a portfolio website. So like you have to make a desktop mock-up wireframe and then a mobile wireframe. Mine is going to be a bunch of demos for some of the games I've made that play in the browser with JavaScript with mobile as well as desktop. So we're supposed to this mock-up is due Thursday, so that we can actually start development on our personal website project. It's going to be a lot like the current my current website that I have built after I took CS50. I've got this interactive art, and we've got a demo here that you can play in the browser as well as touch on mobile and play and interact. So the idea is we're going to have like a demo day where we show off our capstone, and then we're also going to be able to show off our personal website project to potential employers to hopefully get hired or get an apprenticeship somewhere or internship somewhere. So I'm doing a Zion, we're doing a full stack web dev bootcamp right now. I'm doing one, and so we're doing a whole bunch of stuff. We've done so far HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Tailwind, and a couple other tools, like Git and other stuff. I don't know. But it's going good. It's going good. I luckily, that website I just showed you was something I made before the bootcamp, so I've got a decent knowledge of basic HTML, CSS stuff. So I've been doing pretty good in the bootcamp so far. But our capstone's going to be tough. We're doing some special stuff with that. But let me go ahead. We'll pull up our HTML here again, and then I really don't like using WebStorm that much. Okay, so I think the tough thing is going to be if we really want to use the forms to make it a little more interactive. That's going to be a little tougher than just changing a random word. Use forms to complete the assignments if you can. I guess if we're trying to change the text font, are they saying we can have a form of which fonts to change it to? Or we can just change it to anything, I don't know. Highlight a word, maybe we give it a word to highlight. That definitely adds more complexity than just highlighting one random word. Let's see if we can figure it out though. So let's just worry about this, change text font. So how would we do this? So if we want to change the font, we've got to also open up our JavaScript, right? So here's our JavaScript. For right now, we'll literally just put a console log of anything so that we can just prove that we're consoling something. And then we can check this out here in our developer tools. Maybe not. We gotta require our JavaScript here. So they taught us to do it here at the bottom of the body, I believe. At the bottom of the body, I think still in the body. Script, and then end tag for the script. And in here we need a source, and we link our script.js. Cool. So now we're actually using our script in our body of a HTML. So now maybe we'll get that console log. We got hello Twitch. Cool. So we've got our console log working. So JavaScript's talking to HTML here via our script. So we can do a couple of things like, I wonder, okay, so like, I'm still new to this, so I'm still learning this stuff, but I know it's like, and you know what, maybe I'll make a, if I make one of these boxes, I'm just trying to make it easier for you guys to see with the Twitch chat there. So if I open up script down here, and I can kind of like shorten this. Does that look okay? So like that's kind of, yeah, there we go. So now chat isn't gonna get in the way of our main script here. Cool. So let us, what do we want to do? We need to do, we can either do, we learned about an on-click attribute that we can insert something into, and we learned about event listeners. We can add an event listener. I guess what we kind of want to do, if we use this to check out our README, we need to change text, highlight a word. Okay. So we need to change text using some event. Now we can do, how do we want to do this? We want to do, we can either add another p tag that you click and it will change every cat to a dog, maybe. I feel like we should have our ipsum to be a lot shorter. We can do a lot shorter so we don't have to do as much. Or look at as much. Okay, so we've got an ID of first paragraph for this. Let's go ahead and add an H1. Okay. So let's try this, adding an on-click attribute to our paragraph tag. So we'll say on-click gets, now we can define a function here, and we can call it clicked, or we can call it clicked p tag, clicked first paragraph. Now we need to tell JavaScript that there is a function. I don't know if we need, yeah, I think we need the function there. So now we can tell JavaScript, okay, we've got a function. It's called clicked first paragraph. And we can declare it here with, so like this will get called once we click that first p tag. So what do we want to do? We can modify its contents and stuff by doing something like a document style dot color. We can change the color of the font to be equal to something like red or something. And we can change maybe, this is like, you know, this isn't part of the problem. I'm just trying to wrap my head around kind of using this on-click function, background, I think it's background color camel case, and we can say black, and let's see if our interactivity is here with our on-click function that we defined in our JavaScript. So let's just make sure we write it out, and we write it out. Now let's see if we click, let's reload this. There we go, we got our H1, and if we click our P1, nothing is happening. So we're doing something wrong. Now what we can also do is say console.log, we say clicked first paragraph. because I might be messing up. It might be calling. It just might be. I might be modifying the stuff wrong. So let's see. I don't see our log on click. Style is undefined, so I'm doing this a little wrong. It's not document. I thought it was document. Let me see here. We've got a. We went over just in class. We went over this. What was it? JavaScript events. It was in a code along. Where's our code along? There we go. Okay, so when we we got to do a get element by ID. Okay, so let's do that. So we'll get our element by ID, which is we have to tell it which ID we need it. I guess, you know what? No, actually we don't need that with the that's only for an event listener. The on click is a little different. We have a on clicked events h1. So let's take a look at that. We console log it and okay. I guess we still need to do that. We need to do a get element by ID. Okay. So clicked first paragraph. We spelled it right. So let's go ahead and move this console log to be before any of these other things. We'll comment out this for now so we don't get any accidental stylings or errors that crash us. And we'll say why? I don't know. I couldn't tell you what just happened there. Okay, so we clicked it. We need to see our console. We got a clicked first paragraph. So we were crashing. We would just use the name of the callback after equals. You know, I asked my instructor about that, and he was surprised that this works. Like, is that what you're saying? Like, you can just say like that, and it'll work? Yeah. Yeah, I asked my instructor about that, and he didn't know that was valid, because I thought it was weird to put it in the quotes there, but I don't know. I guess it works either way. I don't know. It's at least the syntax highlighting in NeoVim here is at least kind of coloring this one. But they both work, I believe. So without even parentheses even? Let's see. So just the name of the function, or do we need the quotes? Let's see. Yeah, so that one doesn't work, but I guess if the quotes and then we leave out the parentheses. Yeah, I don't know. Why is this one failing here? Not sure, but we've at least got that doing something. So let's go ahead and save. We'll save our we'll do this get element by ID. Inside JS is one thing. Yeah, there's, JavaScript has always kind of rubbed me the wrong way with how weird it is. Document dot get element by ID. want to get by our first paragraph ID, because that is the ID we assigned in HTML. Paragraph here. So now we've got first paragraph. Okay, so now what we should be able to do is modify our first paragraph. I believe using this kind of, we can go into the document object, go into its style, and then, hey, what's up, Magnetonics? Good to see you. We're doing some more non-game stuff, unfortunately, non-game dev stuff, but part of the bigger plan of becoming a programmer and having more time ultimately to get better at programming. So this is my bootcamp homework. We're doing some JavaScript event stuff. So I am very new to it, which is why I am struggling to do very simple things. But look at that. We can click it and change it to blue. So on click, some function will simply invoke the function. Hey, Rough Cookie, what's up, dude? Good to see you here. Rather than assigning the function to itself. Okay. To on click. Okay. So are you saying that we shouldn't, I don't know. I didn't get it to work when I took out the parentheses in here, but it's saying like once it's clicked, it'll run the function because we've got the parentheses there, and what we're doing is changing the style and everything. So we can try to modify the background color as well. And then this will look like crap, but we're learning here. So it's black. We click on the P tag, and the background turns black, and text turns blue, which looks awful as expected, but we can do something like just put white in there, and we can do that. Cool. So we're not trying to do this. We're trying to highlight a word. You would assign a function to onClick like this without parentheses. Let's see if that works, because let's see. So we take out the parentheses, and you're saying you don't even invoke the function. You just put the function itself in the onClick, like something like that. So clicked first paragraph is a function, but we're not calling it onClick. You're just... Oh, inside JS. I haven't messed around with doing an onClick inside JS, so I'm not sure how we'd go about that. There's like a certain amount of stuff that is confusing to me already about JavaScript, and I think, and like HTML talking to JavaScript. It's just a little, I'm trying to wrap my head around this stuff, which is why I'm doing like the simpler things right now. But we need to ultimately highlight a word and then maybe do, yeah, I think that's kind of what it sounded like, where we have to, because it's like, this isn't a string, even though it's in the double quotes, but it is the, I don't know. I think onClick gets called, or onClick, yeah, I think onClick gets called on the click. So it's like we're waiting to run this function until P1 gets clicked, and then it goes ahead and executes it. Our README here says we need to change the text font. So we need to find where the font is in this. It's probably in the font family, right? So like, we've got this first in our, if we dig in our P tag a bit, I was thinking that we could, maybe what we can do is we can return, or here, what if we do this? We can do a console log out our first paragraph. That way we have access to all of that document object data. And then we can go ahead and run it, click it, and then we should have this data. Now we need to find our font family here. Font. No. Font. Font family. I don't know. Inner HTML, okay. Where is the font though? I think it doesn't, I think it has no font attribute because we're not assigning anything to it. Maybe we can, I don't know if we want to add any CSS to this. Why isn't this showing up? It says 4 hidden. How do we show? Thanks for lurking, Magnetonics. It's cool to see you here. After bootcamp, I'll be going back to game dev stuff, so you can, you know, it'll be more exciting once bootcamp's done. This is actually my away from screen time for bootcamp that I'm using to stream because there's just no time to stream otherwise, so I'd rather stream. Okay, let's do the old Google search. Modify font in JS. I'm looking for like, oh, it really just is font family. I should have even just tried it. But yeah, it would be cool to have like a drop down to show all the different options. So something like this is kind of cool. So if we give a class of different font families, then we get the element by ID like we are, and then we're changing the value of our font style. So our font style.value, is that the font family? Let's see if we can print out this font style value, or if that's, no, that's a parameter here. So the value of whatever they're doing for this changing font function. Okay, well, let's see if we can tweak it a bit. Let's see if we can just do, what we'll do is we'll console log out the current font family. So we'll say console.log, and we'll say we want to console log whatever the first paragraph, not what I wanted, first paragraph style dot font family, like this. And what we can do is also just do font is, okay. Let's try this. Let's see if we see anything here. Okay, font is empty string. So I guess the default font isn't kind of like assigned, or we're doing this wrong. Font family, let's see. We might need the font family.value. I don't know. Where are we? Undefined. Okay, so we're doing this wrong. Or yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it chooses what default font to use. I don't know if that's a browser thing or what. font family camel case gets font.value. Yeah. Font family. Are we not doing this style font family? Font family camel case. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah, I'm not sure how to get what this font is, or how to assign it. Like, let's see if we can assign it manually to something, and we'll see if we can say first paragraph dot style dot font family. I keep doing that. Gets the Arial. Okay, well, I mean, it's printing up that now, but like, can we just put in, if we say like junk here, will it still say whatever junk? Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think that's actually pulling the font. Or it's like, yeah. Yeah, we're trying to see what the font family is defaulted to. Yeah, we need to look up JavaScript element or event change font family, something like that. So yeah, I don't even want to do the option thing yet. I'm just trying to get the family style property. So we get the element by ID, and then we go into its style and its dot family. Yeah. Maybe we need to assign it. Maybe we need to assign it, or like if we say let font equal this first paragraph. Keep doing that. First paragraph dot style dot font family. Like, I wouldn't think this would change it, but if we do this, if we put our font here after we store it, does it still say that empty string? Yeah. Okay, well, I don't want to do inline CSS, but I'm just testing something. If we say style gets font family, and then we say like Arial, for example, and we save that, Arial changed there, and now it is Arial. So I guess it's like, since we're not setting the font, it's, I don't know. I don't know how the browser does it. If we don't manually assign the font, it'll just do whatever. Like, it's an empty string as far as the font's concerned, because it's not actually set, so it'll go to the browser's defaults, I guess. I'm not exactly sure. So why don't we try, like, that's what was confusing. It's like when I assigned this font family in our JavaScript to be equal to Arial, and do we need to set it, do we need to pass it as a string? If we pass Arial as a string, does it actually change the font to Arial? No, it went back to its default. Font is not defined. Okay. Sorry guys, I wish I was better at HTML and JavaScript. This is a bit of a slog. But this is how you get better. Just dig around. I feel like we might need to do this value assignment. I mean, they're doing the same thing I'm trying to do here, which is like you get the element by ID, you save it in a variable, then you go into that variable's style font family, set it equal to a font. When passing values to HTML, we pass strings to them. All HTML attributes are just strings. Okay. So get element by ID, yeah, and then so we can't just do this, but let's try this Georgia. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, it just changed it. Are we printing font is? Yeah, we should be saying font is. JavaScript 9, clicked first paragraph, on click. Font is, yeah, we can do this. Let font equal the first paragraph dot style dot font family value, right? So we could say the value of this thing is what font is, and that's what we're going to be console logging. So let's see, not Georgia, click it's Georgia, and then if we go to here, font is undefined. So I'm not understanding where the, is it font value? I don't know. I saw font value somewhere. Like if we just put the font family there, what does it say? Georgia, okay. That worked. Const Arial gets string Arial, then you can pass the variable to the HTML. Okay, because it's a string. Unless you create a variable Arial. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. That's helping me wrap my mind around it. So I mean, like, yeah. This is what I wanted though. So like now it says font family is a string of Georgia, and then we're saying font gets the string Georgia, and then we're printing up that Georgia string. And we're manually assigning it there to Georgia. Okay. So I guess what we need now is we could, like, I kind of want to do the form, use an HTML form to complete the assignment. It's kind of like, because right now we do change the font, like, so we're technically changing the text font when you click it, and it's a JavaScript event, so we're technically passing that first one right now. But it'd be nice if we could do that little drop down with those options, and you can change it to either Arial, Georgia, Montserrat, or whatever. So let's see if we can figure that out. And then the black is just to signify to me that it registered the click, just because I'm learning this. But yeah, how do we do those options, like for that drop down? They do this kind of option on select, use Arial, okay. So it's like an option tag, and you give the option tag the style of the font family you want. See, I feel like we're supposed to not use inline CSS like this for the problem. I think we're supposed to try to just use like JavaScript as much as we can. So there is a JavaScript function called useArial that gets the, oh gosh, I don't know what that does, but we can do, if we use a form instead of an option, we can kind of have them type in the form, and if we have that font, we can change the font family, maybe. Let's see if we can add a little form. It's like we can say, we can have a little p tag. Gosh, it's been a little while since I've tried to do something like this. Is it input gets form? And then you can give it like a title too, like a, I forget what it's called. What, you didn't save? Oh God. What did I change? So we're going to do an input of type form, or gosh, I have to look this up. I don't think it's this. It's like an input type form or something. I've never seen window used. Like I've never seen that used before. Is it, God, what is it? Input gets form or something like that? We need a text box. So it's like a form. I have to look up this. It's like the input is a type text, and then it's a form. It's a form. Oh, it's a form element. And then input type. Okay. So the input type is text inside of a form element. So we'll do a form of input type text. We could do the radio too for doing different fonts that we know exist. So maybe we do that. We can have a little input radio selector. So let's see what that might look like if we do a form here. Form, and I like, I mean, WebStorm is nice because it autofills this stuff for you, but I'm trying to build up my like muscle memory for doing typing tags and everything. So if we do a form and we say this is choose font, and then in the form attribute, we give it an input, or in the form tag, we give it an input attribute of text. Let's see. Choose font. I don't see the text form. Type is text. So it's input space type. Okay, so it's an input tag with a type. Okay, that's what I'm missing. It's inside the form? Yeah, inside the form, it's an input tag with type text. Okay, the ID and the name, that's what I was thinking of. Okay. Okay, so the name is like what it says in the form. And then, okay, so we can leave, yeah, let's try that. Oh, and label, shit. That's what I'm thinking of, label. God damn it. Okay, so we need an input and a label in our form. So what we'll do is say, we'll say we've got a form here, and we're not doing this. Inside of our form, we're going to have an input and a label. And I think, are these one of those things we don't need the closing tag for? We're going to say input type gets of text. And then we're going to give it an ID so that we can modify the label for it. We're going to say ID gets a font. No, I don't know. Font input? I don't know. Font input. And we can just do, let's just do font like this, font input. And then we can label for our ID here, for our font input ID, font input. And then the label, I think this one does need a closing label tag. And we can say that this label is choose font. I think I want to do the radio choice. Let's see. Cool. We've got a little text. It says choose font. The one I'm looking for is the font that says. Okay, cool. I will probably do that because this .ico is really bugging me. If we can. I wonder if can we just touch bullshit.ico and just put that in there just to get that red to go away. Okay, it's not quite. I want the for name. I think this is what I'm thinking of. Name. If we say name in our input, we say this is whatever the value of name is. Let's just see, not what I wanted. Name, is that the inside the box? Name? No. Okay. Because, yeah, I don't want the label. I want, like, where it's like, oh, placeholder. That's what it's called, right? Placeholder. Not name, but placeholder. What am I doing, man? Placeholder. Got to get back to class by 1, so crap, that's coming up very fast. Name. There we go. That's what we want. Actually, that's not what we want because we want to do a radio input. So let's see what radio input looks like. Cool. So ideally, we just have like 4 radio buttons, and it's got Arial, Consolas, Georgia, Montserrat, or whatever, and we can select and change the font just by clicking the radio buttons. So that's probably how I want to go about doing this change text font. It's a little kind of more interactive. So we will add another input. I just want to see what that looks like, if that stacks it like I'm thinking. Oh, that's okay if it goes left to right. Oh, but you can choose more than one. Oh, God. We're going to have to clear our selection somehow. Yeah, let's try to make this bullcrap.ico file so that we can get rid of this. So what we will do is we will create a file here called icon.ico, and then we'll write it out, and then hopefully, where am I? I messed that up. That's fine. Let's see if that got rid of our little cool. Thanks for that ICO tip, because that was kind of driving me a little crazy. Okay, so we've got, I guess I don't know how to clear the radio button inputs. How do we make it so that only one radio can be added? Here, radio buttons. Label. See, that's what I'm wanting. It's an input type radio. Checkbox. Okay, we don't want that. So for our radio input, we need an ID, a name, and a value. So the value will be the name of the font. The name will be whatever, I guess, whatever name of the radio buttons. So maybe font picker or something. And then the ID is how we can access the individual radio button. But I don't see what is choosing whether or not to like only select one radio event, because right now we can select multiples. They have it. It's in the same form. Let's just pull this up. We will put this right here for us to reference. And where is... Okay. So we want... So we've got an input of a type radio. We have an ID of a font input. So ID should actually be like the unique thing. I think that's why it's changing, because this should be, let's say if this was Georgia and this was Consolas. We can get rid of... I don't think I want the label, honestly. I don't think I want the label. Do we need the label? The label... yeah, we need the label, because this... we need to say that this is Georgia picker. And this is the Consolas picker. Okay. Let's see where that gets us. Where did our page go? Okay, Georgia, Consolas. Now that we have... actually, yeah, we're still getting that 2 buttons issue. Yeah, I don't know if I like this kitty ipsum. You know, we've got pee walk, cage droppings, sick vet vomit, cat ass trophy, pushes butt to face. I don't know if I want this in my Git repo. We should make a git commit already, because we're actually well into what we need for a commit already. So let's just say, gosh. Okay, we've got this. Let us put this in here. Let's highlight everything inside that. God damn it. I know there's a fancy NeoVim way to do this. Change what's inside the closing brackets. That's not what I wanted. Change what's inside the... Damn it. I don't know how to do it. Okay. We'll just do that. Cool. We've got Lord of the Rings ipsum now. Get rid of some cat vomit. Okay, so we click it. We're changing the font with the click, but we're trying to change it with the radio buttons. I still need these radio buttons to only be one clickable, so I don't know if that means we need to add... I don't think adding a break does anything to the radio buttons. No, and then we need to clear it. If we refresh, we need to clear it. They've got different IDs. They've got the same type. Oh, font input. Okay, so maybe this is what we need. This is for the ID, I believe. Yeah, I need to figure out how to clear this. Okay, we click one, click another, they're both clicked. So what is going on? The form. Yeah, so the for is for the ID. That's what we've got. We've got the for label for the ID. Now, how come theirs are only selecting one? Like literally, if we take their code and we put it in ours and we say, let's go see what that looks like, then why is theirs working and mine not? Theirs allows us to select only one. Yeah, okay, so what's the difference? They've got a form, it ends, we've got that, we've got an input and a label. Yes. We don't have a value. Maybe that's the difference. We don't have a value. Let's see if we, and we don't need the placeholder now that we're doing the radio buttons. So let's just do the value here. We'll say the value gets whatever Georgia. Cool. And then we will see if ours is working now. Refresh, clear the cache, and still no. Value, consolas, name. They have a name. Okay, so I guess if you need to give it a name because it needs to know which buttons you're doing for, so we can give it a name of like font selector, and then hopefully that will fix our problem. So we'll say font selector. Okay, let's cross our fingers. Nice. Now only one works. Okay, cool. So let's get rid of their bullcrap. We'll do a little git commit to make our history here. And we'll say, I guess what we'll do is we'll come out. There's a git fugitive we can do. I don't want to do that. I think I just want to open a new pane. Okay, we're in our events challenge. Let us see if we've got our status. I got that icon ICO. We modified our index and our script. If we look at what we've done, it's basically everything, which is just, why does it do that? Oh, because we don't have a commit yet, so I can't compare anything. But what we'll do is we'll add and commit with a message. This is a git alias I've got where I can commit, add everything and commit, and I'm going to just say starting to change font through JS events. Git push. Cool. Okay, so what we need to do is maybe do two more labels, 2 more radio buttons, and we want to do something like we want to change our consolas to be something like what's another font we can do that hopefully works in all the browsers. We can do a Comic Sans. Yeah, does Comic Sans work? We'll try it, and then we'll say another font of consolas to... We've got Arial? No, we don't. Let's put Arial in here. Arial. Okay. So now if we take a look, we've got Consolas, Georgia. Consolas, Georgia, Comic Sans, Arial. So now what we need to do is, upon clicking these radio buttons, we need to send, or we need to add an event listener or an on-click function call to change the body of our p tag to modify our stuff here. So we can do an on-click, I believe, for this input. Let's try it. I want to try it on a font I know works, which right now Georgia does work. Let's do we'll say on click gets, and we'll put our change to Georgia function here, and then if we have, and I need to go to my other window and change to Georgia. And we're trying to, what we need to do is stop changing our font family here. Let's take this out. Actually, I do want to print out that. What we want to do is have another function called change to Georgia. Function change to Georgia. And this function takes in no parameters, and it goes, it's going to get the element by ID so that it can modify its font family to be equal to Georgia. I'm gonna stop turning this black and white so that instead of clicking the paragraph changing it to Georgia, we're gonna do clicking the radio button changes it to Georgia. So we're gonna have another local first paragraph. I think we can use the same name because it's local to this function. We can say first paragraph gets our document get element by ID. We know the element of the p tag we want to change, and it's our first paragraph. And then we want to change that first paragraph's dot style dot font family camel case to be equal to a string of the Georgia font. So now when we click the radio button for our Georgia radio label, we will call this change to Georgia function in our JavaScript, which will then get the p tag of our Lord of the Rings ipsum, and it will modify its style.font family to be equal to Georgia, hopefully. Let's see. So we've got, now if we click it, we're not changing the font anymore, but if we click Georgia, we're changing it. Cool. And we're not doing anything else. And I think there's a way, we need a way to flush the radio button upon the refresh. I'm not sure how to do that. Let's do a little Google. Flush radio button selections upon refresh. It should have a default state, right? A default state of nothing selected. Value no? No. Value ID no? What are you talking about? Yeah, we want them to be empty when you refresh. Checked? What are you talking about? A default value of like not checked, right? But type is checkbox. We don't want the checkbox, we want the radio. It's like a default, yeah, like a default value to be unchecked. Checked? Dude, what is that? I need to, I don't know. Radio button default selection. value. Value is empty. Value is empty. Checked gets false. Let's try checked gets false as like a default. I don't know. Let's try it. I guess that would be in the radio button. We've got an ID, and we've got a name, and we got a value, and then we need a what? Checked as false. So now this should flush our Georgia check, I guess. So if we have, oh, well, it already didn't work. Because if we've got Georgia checked and we refresh, it's still there. If we clear our cache, it's still. Okay, so there's some other way to do it. If we do a value of empty, what does that do? I hate this folding that this is doing. Okay. Okay, that doesn't change it. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure that out. For now, let's just run these other functions, right? So like we've got a input on click for our consolas. So we'll say click gets our change to consolas. Font function. And we need to make that in JavaScript. So we'll go over here, and this is our change to, we need to do this very simply. It's just the same stuff. Change to consolas, and we'll just change this. Substitute every Georgia with consolas. And then we're calling the consolas. So let's see if consolas works. Refresh. Consolas font. Didn't look like it worked. Georgia looked like it worked. Maybe consolas doesn't come with the browser. I don't know. I do need a list of like some default. Yeah, let's do Helvetica instead of consolas. Oh, you're good, Soup. It's just homework stuff. It would be probably boring you to death. It's like, you know, one thing, Soup, if you know how, we've got these radio buttons, and we're trying to make sure that these radio buttons on a refresh are just not selected. Because right now, if we select it and then refresh, it's still selected. So we're trying to figure that out. If you have any tips on how to do that, that would be helpful. Let's change this to Helvetica. Same selection. No, we just don't want the button. We don't want the. I don't know how to make sure the buttons can be unselected. Actually, now that you say that, I don't know. One is always selected. Oh. Okay, so maybe the default one. I guess then I would want to set the default to be the first one, I guess, or whatever, the first selection. Helvetica, we've got this. Okay. Our change to consolas is now becoming not consolas, but Helvetica. And then let's try that. Helvetica, Georgia. Helvetica, cool. Georgia, Helvetica. Let's do our Arial and see if Comic Sans works. I have a feeling Comic Sans won't work in the browser, but we'll do a not change to Helvetica, but a substitute Helvetica for Arial. Let's just do our... Well, let's try Comic Sans. Let's do Comic Sans here. Okay, and we messed up. Default selection hidden. Okay. Okay, so the default selection, does that mean we need a... Is default selection a attribute of the radio ID or default selection? For the form? Is it a default selection for the form? Okay, change to Comic Sans. Okay, we need to put our Comic Sans function here on an on-click. On-click, change to Comic Sans. I have a feeling Comic Sans won't work in the browser for whatever reason. It might be called something other than just Comic Sans, but let's see if we can do it. Yeah. Comic Sans doesn't seem to be working. Change to Comic Sans. Comic Sans. What is the Comic Sans web font? And you know what? We've got open work. We've got open work for class starting at 1. I wonder if I can just keep streaming. Comic Sans MS maybe. Okay. I guess it depends on the freaking browser we're using. Comic Sans MS. Let's try MS. Comic Sans. Okay, we'll do button form default selection hidden. Is it part of the form? This isn't a radio value. Disabled hidden. Type is hidden. So it's like we add another invisible radio button that becomes the default, and its type is hidden so that it's not selected because one of the radio selectors has to be selected. Guess it doesn't really matter. It's just one of those things that kind of bugs me when I refresh it. I'm surprised Comic Sans ended up working. Oh, but see, look, so like we select Comic Sans, we refresh, it's selected, but it's not Comic Sans because it wasn't an on-click. Okay, well let's give us Arial and then we'll see if we can figure out that default button there. I'm kind of hoping that I can just stay streaming instead of going back to class because it's open work. I might need to connect to the Zoom meeting and check if I can stay streaming. That would be cool because this is what I was going to do in open work anyway, so let's do a change to Arial function, on-click function. And we need to put a function in there. Then we need to go to our JavaScript and say that we have a change to Arial function. Okay, so if we go change to Arial. We gave ourselves 2 Arials on accident. Yeah, we've got... Oh god, yeah, we fucked something up. So we've got the input label, input label, input label, input label, and then we've got 2. So let's just take off this. How did we manage to do that? Okay, we've got 4. We've got Georgia, Helvetica, Comic Sans, and Arial. And Arial is different than whatever the default browser one is. And the default browser one is different than all these things. It's not a big deal that one is selected, but it just is like kind of nitpicky. I don't like that one of them is selected. So if we have an invisible, like how do we set a default button? Set default hidden radio button. Display none, well. Input type is radio, visibility hidden. I don't want to do it in CSS, I want to do it in HTML. I might have to stop in the class real quick and make sure that we're not doing any meeting. But I'm in open work time, so I'm thinking right before 1 hits, I'll go on a little Twitch break away from screen and check, make sure that we're not meeting for class. And if we're not, I'll come back and do my work and continue the stream. Class checked. Yeah. I don't know how to do this. Leave one checked? Do we just leave the first one checked? Can we do that? But the thing is, it's just because it's checked doesn't mean it's actually... If we put checked here, Georgia is checked. If we refresh, Georgia is not checked. Okay, so that's not right. Let's ask our buddy. Oh, you know what? It's 12:59. I'm gonna go away from stream, check in with my class, make sure we're not doing any meeting and that it's still solo work, and then if it is, I will come back and continue the stream. And if we have to meet for class, then I'll probably just end the stream once I figure that out. But thanks for watching, everybody. I might be back shortly because we have solo work coming up. But thanks for watching. I might be back shortly. Okay, so it turns out we are doing some schoolwork. So I've got to cut stream, but if it goes back to study work, solo work, I might start up streaming again.
Did I miss anything?
Thanks for hanging out, y'all.
No, just giving Marty a few seconds.